Hello and welcome my friends. As usual, the Blue Planet Universe has brought you a different kind of video that is important to you today. So before going to the video, let me first remind you that if you haven't subscribed us yet, subscribe now and keep in touch to get all notifications. So there is no need to talk about more details. Today's topic is chosen to talk about the First World War. So without further ado, let us go to the video to talk about full true story of World War I. First, let me make a brief introduction to the First World War. World War I, also known as the Great War, began in 1914 after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. His murder catapulted into a war across Europe that lasted until 1918. During the conflict, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire fought against Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Japan, and the United States. Thanks to new military technologies and horror of trench warfare, World War I saw unprecedented levels of carnage and destruction. By the time the war was over and the Allied powers claimed victory, more than 16 million people, soldiers and civilians alike, were dead. Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Tensions had been brewing throughout Europe, especially in the troubled Balkan region of Southeast Europe for years before World War I actually broke out. A number of alliances involving European powers, the Ottoman Empire, Russia, and the other parties had excited for years. But political instability in the Balkans threatened to destroy these agreements. The spark that ignited World War I was struck in Sarajevo, Bosnia, where Archduke Franz Ferdinand was shot to death along with his wife Sofia by the Siberian nationalist Gavrilo Princip on June 28, 1914. Princip and other nationalists were struggling to end Austro-Hungarian rule over Bosnia and Herzegovina. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand set off a rapidly escalating chain of events. Austria-Hungary, like many countries around the world, blamed the Siberian government for the attack and hoped to use the incident as justifications for setting the questions of Siberian nationalism once and for all. Second Kaiser Wilhelm. Because mighty Russia supported Serbia, Austria-Hungary waited to declare war until its leader received assurance from German leader Second Kaiser Wilhelm that Germany would support their cause. Austro-Hungarian leaders feared that a Russian invasion would involve Russia, Italy, France, and possibly Great Britain as well. On June 5, Kaiser Wilhelm secretly pledged his support, giving Austria-Hungary a so-called carte blanche of blank check assurance of Germany's backing in the case of war. The dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary then sent an ultimatum to Serbia with such harsh terms as to make it almost impossible to accept. World War I begins. Convinced that Austria-Hungary was readying for war, the Serbian government ordered the Siberian army to mobilize and appealed to Russia for assistance. On July 28, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia and the tenor's place between Europe's great powers quickly collapsed. Within a week, Russia, Belgium, France, Great Britain and Serbia had lined up against Austria-Hungary and Germany, and World War I had begun. The Western Front. According to an aggressive military strategy known as Schlieffen-Flank, Germany began fighting World War I on two fronts, invading France through neutral Belgium in the west and confronting Russia in the east. On August 4, 1914, German troops crossed the border into Belgium. In the First Battle of World War I, the Germans assaulted the heavily fortified city of Liege to capture the city by August 15. The Germans left death and destruction in their wake as they advanced through Belgium towards France, shooting civilians and executing a Belgian priest they had accused of inciting civilian resistance. First Battle of the Marne. In the First Battle of the Marne, fought from September 6 to 9, 1914, French and British forces confronted the invading German army, which had by then penetrated deep into northern eastern France within 30 miles of Paris. The Allied troops checked the German advance and mounted a successful counter-attack, driving the Germans back to north of the Aisne River. The defeat meant the end of Germans' plan for quick victory in France. Both sides dug into trenches, and the Western Front was the setting for a hellish war of attrition that would last more than 3 years. Particularly long and costly battles in this campaign were fought at Verdun and the Battle of the Somme. German and French troops suffered close to 1 million casualties in the Battle of Verdun alone. World War I, Books and Art. The bloodshed on the battlefields on the Western Front and the difficulties its soldiers had for years after the fighting had ended inspired such works of art as Olcott on the Western Front by Erich Maria Remarque and In Flanders Fields by Canadian Dr. Lieutenant Colonel John M.C. Craig. Visual artists like Otto Dix of Germany and British painters Wyndham Lewis, Paul Wash and David Bomberg used their first-hand experience as soldiers in World War I to create their art, capturing the anguish of trench warfare and exploring the themes of technology, violence and landscapes decimated by war. The Eastern Front. On the Eastern Front of World War I, Russian forces invaded the German-held regions of eastern Russia and Poland, but were stopped short by German and Austrian forces at the Battle of Tannenberg in late August 1914. Despite that victory, Russia's assault had forced Germany to move two corps from the Western Front into the Eastern, contributing to the German loss in the Battle of Marne. Combined with the fierce Allied resistance in France, the ability of Russia's super machine to mobilize relatively quickly in Eastern ensured a longer, more grueling conflict instituted quickly victory Germany had hoped to win under Schlieffen-Flank. Russian Revolution. From 1914 to 1916, Russia's army mounted several offensives on World War I's Eastern Front but was unable to break through German lines. Defeat on the battlefield combined with economic instability and the sacrifice of food and other essentials led to mounting discontent among bulk of Russia's population, especially the poverty-stricken workers and parents. This increased hostility was directed toward the imperial regime of Caesar II Nicholas and his unpopular German-born wife Alexandra. Russia's simmering instability exploded in the Russian Revolution of 1917, spearheaded by Vladimir Lenin and the Bolsheviks, which ended Karadzich's rule of brought a halt of Russian participation in World War I. Russia reached an armistice with the Central Powers in early December 1917, freeing German troops to face the remaining allies on the Western Front. America enters World War I. At the outbreak of fighting in 1914, the United States remained on the sidelines of World War I, adopting the policy of neutrality favored by President Woodrow Wilson, while continuing with European countries on both sides of the conflict. Neutrality, however, was increasingly difficult to maintain to face of Germany's unchecked submarine aggression against natural ships, including those carrying passengers. In 1915, Germany declared the waters surrounding the British Isles to be a war zone, and German U-boats sunk several commercial and passenger vessels, including some US ships. Widespread protests over the sinking by U-boat of the British ocean liner Lusitania, traveling from New York to Liverpool, England, with hundreds of American passengers on board in May 1915, helped turn the tide of American public opinion against Germany. In February 1917, Congress passed a $250 million arms appropriation bill intended to make the United States ready for war. Germany sunk 4 more US merchant ships the following month, and on April 2, Woodrow Wilson appeared before Congress and called for a declaration of war against Germany. Gallipoli Campaign. With World War I having effectively settled into stalemate in Europe, the Allies attempted to score a victory against the Ottoman Empire, which entered the conflict on the side of the Central Powers in late 1914. After a failed attack on the Dardanelles Strait linking the Sea of Marmara with the Allied forces led by Britain, launched a large-scale land invasion of the Gallipoli Peninsula in April 1915. The invasion also proved a dismal failure, and in January 1916, Allied forces staged a full retreat from the shores of the peninsula after suffering 250,000 casualties. British-led forces also combated the Ottoman Turks in Egypt and Mesopotamia while in northern Italy. Austrian and Italian troops forces off in a series of 12 battles along the Ionian River, located at the border between two nations. Battle of Isonzo. The first Battle of Isonzo took place in the late spring of 1915, soon after Italy's entrance into the war on the Allied side. In the 12th Battle of the Isonzo, also known as the Battle of Caporetto, German reinforcement helped Austria-Hungary win a decisive victory. After Caporetto, Italy's allies jumped in to offer increased assistance. British and French and later American troops arrived in the region, and the allies began to take back the Italian front. World War I at sea. In the years before World War I, the superiority of Britain's Royal Navy was unchallenged by any other nation's fleet. But the Imperial German Navy had made substantial strides in closing the gap between the two naval powers. Germany's strength on the high seas was also aided by its lethal fleet of U-boat submarines. After the Battle of Dogger Bank in January 1915, in which the British mounted a surprise attack on German Navy, chose not to confront Britain's mighty Royal Navy in a major battle for more than a year, preferring to rest the bulk of its naval strategy on its boats. The biggest naval engagement of World War I, the Battle of Jutland, left British naval superiority on the North Sea intact, and Germany would make no further attempts to break an elite naval blockade for the remainder of the war. World War I plans. World War I was the first major conflict to harness the power of planes. Though not as impactful as the British Royal Navy or German U-boats, the use of planes in World War I presaged their later pivotal role in military conflicts around the globe. At the dawn of World War I, aviation was a relatively new field. The Wright brothers took their first sustained flight just 11 years before in 1903. Aircraft were initially used primarily for reconnaissance missions. During the First Battle of the Marne, information passed from pilots allowed the Allies to exploit weak spots in the German lines, helping the Allies to push Germany out of France. The first machine guns were successfully mounted on planes in June of 1912 in the United States. By war's end, the Allies were producing 5 times more aircraft than the Germans. Second Battle of the Marne. On April 1, 1918, the British created the Royal Air Force, the first air force to be a separate military branch independent from the Navy or Army. With Germany able to build up its strength on the Western Front after the armistice with Russia, elite troops struggled to hold off another German offensive until promised reinforcements from the United States were able to arrive. On 15 July 1918, German troops launched what would become the last German offensive of the war, attacking French forces in the Second Battle of the Marne. The Allies successfully pushed back the German offensive and launched their own counter-offensive just 3 days later. After suffering massive casualties, Germany was forced to call off a planned offensive further north. In the Flanders region stretching between France and Belgium, which was envisioned as Germany's best hope of victory. The Second Battle of the Marne turned the tide of war decisively towards the Allies, who were able to regain much of France and Belgium in the months that followed. Role of the 92nd and 93rd Divisions. By the time World War I began, there were 4 all-black regiments in the US military: the 24th and 25th Infantry and the 9th and 10th Cavalry. All 4 regiments comprised of celebrated soldiers who fought in the Spanish-American War and American Indian Wars and served in American territories. But they were not deployed for overseas combat in World War I. Blacks serving alongside white soldiers on the front line in Europe was inconceivable to the US military. Instead, the first African American troops sent overseas served in segregated labor battalions restricted to menial roles in the Army and Navy and shut out of the Marines entirely. Their duties mostly included unloading ships, transporting materials from the train depots, bases and ports, digging trenches, cooking and maintains removing barbed wire and inoperable equipment and burying soldiers, facing criticism from black community and civil rights organizations for its courts and treatment of African American soldiers in the war effort. The military formed two black combat units in 1917, the 92nd and 93rd Divisions. Trained separately and inadequately in the United States, the divisions formed differently in the war. The 92nd faced criticism for their performance in the Meuse Argonne campaign in September 1918. The 93rd Division, however, had more success. More than 350,000 African American soldiers would serve in the World War I in various capabilities. Toward armistice. By the fall of 1918, the Central Powers were unraveling on all fronts. Despite the Turkish victory at Gallipoli, later defeats by invading forces and an Arab revolt that destroyed the Ottoman economy and devastated its land, and Turks signed a treaty with the Allies in late October 1918. Austria-Hungary, dissolving from within due to growing nationalist movements among its diverse population, reached an armistice on November 4. Facing dwindling resources on the battlefield, disconnect on the home front and the surrender of its allies, Germany was finally forced to seek an armistice on November 11, 1918, ending World War. Treaty of Versailles. At the Paris Peace Conference in 1919, elite leaders stated their desire to build a post-war wood that would safeguard itself against future conflicts of such devastating scale. Some helpful participants had even begun calling World War I the war to end all wars. But the Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, would not achieve that lofty goal. As the years passed, hearted of the Versailles Treaty and its authors settled into a smoldering resentment in Germany that would 2 decades later be counted among the causes of World War II. World War I casualties. World War I took the lives of more than 9 million soldiers, 21 million more were wounded. Civilian casualties numbered close to 10 million. The two nations most affected were Germany and France, each of which sent some 80% of their male populations between the ages of 15 and 49 into battle. The political disruption surrounding World War I also contributed to fall of war vulnerable imperial dynasties Germany, Austria, Hungary, Russia and Turkey. Legacy of World War I. World War I brought about massive social upheaval as millions of women entered the workforce to replace men who went to war and those who never come back. The First Global War also helped to spread one of the world's deadliest global pandemics, the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918, which killed an estimated 20 to 50 million people. World War I has also been referred to as the first modern war. Many of the technologies now associated with military conflict, machine guns, tanks, aerial combat and radio communications were introduced on massive scale during World War I. The severe effects that chemical weapons such as mustard gas and phosgene had on soldiers and civilians during World War I galvanized public and military attitudes against their continued use. The Geneva Convention agreements signed in 1925, restricted the use of chemical and biological agents in warfare and remains in effect today. Now, I have a summary of all the details we have talked about so far in World War I. World War I, also known as the First World War, was a global war centered in Europe that began on 28 July 1914 and lasted until 11 November 1918. World War I triggered on June 28, 1914. A primary cause of World War I was a difference over foreign policy. World War I had many causes such as a tangle of alliances made between countries to maintain balanced power in Europe, which brought about the scale of the conflict. The Bosnian crisis, where Austria-Hungary took over the former Turkish province of Bosnia in 1909, angering Serbia. Countries were building their military forces, arms and battleships. Countries wanted to regain lost territories from previous conflicts and build empires. World War I was known by a number of different names such as the War to End All Wars and the Great War. The Americans joined World War I after 128 Americans were killed by a German submarine. The United States only spent 7.5 months in actual combat. 8 million soldiers died in World War I and 21 were injured. By 1918, German citizens were striking and demonstrating against the war. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles officially ended the World War I. Germany joined the League of Nations in 1926, but many Germans were very resentful of the Treaty of Versailles. Now, we are going to talk about the special events that took place due to the First World War, even though you do not know much. An explosion on the battlefield in France was heard in England. In World War I, journalists risked their lives to report on the war. 20 million letters were delivered to the front line every week during the war period. Plastic surgery was invented because of World War I. The youngest British soldier in World War I was just 12 years old. Blood banks were developed during World War I. 9 out of 10 British soldiers survived the trenches. Army generals had to be banned from going over the top. At last, I am going to talk about famous people of the First World War. Kaiser Wilhelm, the last German emperor. The Kaiser led Germany on a more bellicose, self-assertive foreign policy where he wished to see Germany become a major European power. He formed a key alliance with Austria-Hungary. But distributed by Germany's military leaders, he had little direct influence on the running of the war. Georges Clemenceau. He is the French Prime Minister from 1917 to 1920. Clemenceau, known as the Tiger, was a key figure in holding French resolve to fight for total victory when others considered negotiating a treaty with Germany. He took a harsh position against Germany at the Treaty of Versailles. Woodrow Wilson. He initially sought to keep America out of the global conflict, but in 1970, he finally relented and took America into the war against Germany. After the war, he strove to develop League of Nations and impose a fair peace settlement on the defeated parties. David Lloyd George. He is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1916 to the end of war. He played a key role in organizing the British war effort. He created a work cabinet of 5 key people which he hoped would prevent the mistakes of first 2 years. Winston Churchill. He is the Lord of the Admiralty. Resigned in 1915 for his role in the unsuccessful Gallipoli campaign. He returned as an officer on front for several months. In 1917, he was appointed Minister of Munitions, where he was successful in organizing supply. Tsar Nicholas. He is the last Russian emperor. As a head of state, Tsar Nicholas approved Russia's entry into the First World War. Russia lost over 33 million men, and disillusionment with the running of the war led to his overthrow in 1917 and Russia's ultimate exit from the war. V. Lenin. He is the leader of the Russian Revolution in 1917. With the German help, Lenin was smuggled into Russia, where he successfully led the Russian Revolution and accepted a harsh peace treaty with Germany in return for leaving the conflict. Paul von Hindenburg. He is a Prussian general. Von Hindenburg led the German army to a major success at the Battle of Tannenberg. He rose to be Chief of the General Staff and was one of the most influential political figures in the government. So I think in this video you may have learned all about World War I. If there is a vague place you want to know more about this, don't forget to comment below. So I will end the video here. Hope to see you in next interesting video, and if this video is value for you, like the video and share with your friends. Stay safe all, and see you again in next interesting video.